Hello and welcome to the video. I've decided to make a video about health regards to dissociation and depersonalization because I make a lot of videos about genuine health issues that can be the root cause of depersonalization, but there is sometimes health conditions that aren't directly triggering dissociation, but they cause worry and anxiety, which then causes you to dissociate. So it's sometimes hard to decipher, whether or not a real health condition exists, which is actually like causing the derealization, or is it just the idea of the health condition that's causing the anxiety, which causes the depersonalization. So I think generally when you know you have a health condition, for like something that you worry about, it could be a chronic illness or even like a terminal illness, or like a diagnosis that you're not sure about the prognosis of, something that causes you worry, that you worry that it might get worse, or you're not able to manage how you feel. That can cause a lot of anxiety, which can then cause derealization. This is different from having an illness which is from toxicity, which is connected to depersonalization, because that is a symptom of the illness, not just a symptom of anxiety because you're worrying about the illness. So a lot of the time the worry that you experience during illnesses is the cause, and often this can be triggered by things like doctor's appointments, treatment as well, the idea of what might happen during treatment, research and prognosis, different people's stories about having negative effects from different treatments, and also known like experiences people have had that have been negative during the illness as well can cause a lot of anxiety. So in my opinion, it is really tempting to try and take control of the situation and try and do as much research as you can to help yourself. But I think there is a fine line between doing a lot of research and, getting that wisdom to be your own advocate, but then also going into almost obsession and too far to where that's all you think about. Because if all you think about is the illness that you have, then which causes anxiety, and then that's just going to make the derealization persistent. And if you think about it in a cognitive behavioural therapy type of way, so you've got like the action, which is doing research, the thoughts, which is I'm never going to get better, the feelings, which is dissociation. So, and then this is just a big cycle. You have to figure out if your behaviour is actually triggering anxiety and negative thoughts surrounding your condition. And also it is really good to talk about it and have support as well. But also there's another fine line between talking about it, and I know it's possibly sometimes all you can think about, but sometimes you need to try and distract your mind as well, because the stress and the worry from the illness can exacerbate things, because stress lowers your immune system and it gives you less of a chance to fight off the illness you have. And it's easy to just say, don't stress about it. Yeah, that's like almost impossible. But I guess thinking about what activities you're doing that is causing you more stress and try and implement things that isn't related to your condition could help as well. As well as like a good therapist and counsellor to support you. And also if you have loved ones who are supporting you through it, often you can get a lack of understanding from them, especially if the illness is quite something that they haven't heard of or experienced firsthand. Things like if you're extremely fatigued or in pain or weak and you can't keep up the duties that you normally do, and you do feel judged by other people even if they are judging you or not, and you feel like you have that expectation to be functional even when you physically can't, and that brings a lot of anxiety and guilt as well. I think it's about just doing what you can and just trying not to pressure yourself and push yourself too far, because again that can cause more stress. and just try and explain to loved ones, you know, how this illness affects you. Maybe to write them a letter or show them something that someone else has created, explaining how it affects you and what you are and are not capable of. Sometimes you do have to cut out toxic people from your life when you're experiencing illness, because if they are making you feel bad about yourself, or, you know, making you worry unnecessarily, or like not taking you seriously or not supporting you, that can just make you worse. And unfortunately you do have to distance yourself from these people, at least until you're strong enough to deal with that, because often you're fragile when you're ill. And there is all sorts of like worries that you have during illnesses. It's important to keep up like treatment regimes as well, and try and get into a routine. Routine is really good when you have an illness, even if it's something like, you know, today I managed to go in the shower, because you've kind of done something that day that you've achieved. I had a really good suggestion from a therapist, and what I used to do when I was more ill, I used to kind of push myself to do things every day, and I used to write myself a list that I wanted to achieve that day. And rather than write a to-do list, think about at the end of the day writing a done list and what you've actually done that day. Even if it's something like you've managed to get out of bed and get changed and brush your hair, or go in the shower, or you went for a walk, or you've made yourself some food, write that down, because that is an achievement in itself. And then at the end of the week, review what you've actually done, and you'll realise how productive you've been, even if you have felt like you've just been a bit of a failure or feel guilty, because anyone else in your situation would be the same. And in terms of lifestyle, depending on what the illness is, you just have to maintain that level of self-care. Try and, you know, eat well as you can. Outside of treatment, treatment can involve all sorts of things, but you have to like cohabit the treatment with also your lifestyle being healthy. Try and exercise as much as you can able to do. Don't push yourself too hard, but you know, even just go for a walk every so often, that can help as well. And just limit like things that aren't healthy for you, substances, obviously alcohol and stuff. Try and get as much sleep as you need, but then again, don't sleep too much where you kind of just want to sleep constantly, because that can lead to depression, and cutting yourself off from the rest of the world definitely causes derealisation as well. The other side of the coin is if you have health anxiety and you're worrying about things like you could have chronic conditions. That is a tricky one for me, because for a while I thought I had health anxiety, and I was kind of doing all sorts of things to get out of that, and doing affirmations, saying like I'm well, I'm healthy, but I just had relentless depersonalization and derealization all throughout. And actually I did realise that there was a lot of things wrong with my body that I needed to correct, but not in a conventional way. In Western medicine, things like, you know, toxicity, they don't recognise that. Depending on what your health anxiety trigger is, you know, if it's something like you feel like you're going to have a heart attack and things that Western medicine do deal with, then definitely, you know, go to the doctors, get an opinion, but try and then like let go of that, because it's not easy to, I mean, it's not difficult to miss heart conditions and stuff like that, or like things that are quite common. But if you do feel like something's wrong, or you feel like, you know, something's not quite right, then definitely you need to be your own advocate. And again, just try not to become too obsessed about it. Give yourself limits on how much research you're going to do, and then do something else. And health anxiety is a difficult one, because it can be real, or it can just be like a perceived thing that the anxiety is causing. So you've just got to try and decipher which one it is. You know, follow leads that your mind has given you, and if it leads to a dead end, then write that off as health anxiety. So yeah, that is a difficult one, but dissociation in terms of your health and actual health conditions is quite common, because you almost can't believe that you're ill, you don't want to be ill, you feel trapped in a body that is ill, and you don't want to be that person, and you don't want to be limited, and you want to be in control of your body and your health. But you've just got to remember that the more resistance that you give to a health condition, the more stress you create and the more chance of being and remaining ill. So you just have to give yourself that compassion and remember that you just need time to heal and try and deal with it the best you can. I hope this video's helped, and if you've got any further questions, just leave them down below, and thank you for watching.